Jake Paul looks like such a clown. I almost couldn't stop myself from laughing. This kid really thinks $2 million is gonna scare me? At the press conference in Miami, he leaned down, trying to use his height to create some kind of intimidation, but honestly, all I smelled was his hair gel, not any sense of danger. Even funnier, he stood up there bragging about how he's gonna beat me with boxing skills. A guy who started as a YouTuber, who's only fought hand-picked opponents, talking about skills against a real world champion. That's probably the funniest thing I've heard all year.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis wasted no time aiming at Jake Paul during the Miami press conference. He mocked the YouTuber turned boxer for his behavior on stage, branding him a clown in front of the cameras and dismissing his antics as nothing more than a desperate grab for attention.
As for the rules, the weight limit was changed from 190 pounds to 195. It makes no difference to me. We'll be fighting with 12-ounce gloves, heavier than the 8-ounce gloves I usually wear at lightweight. And Paul tries to act tough, saying, I could wear 8-ounce, I could even fight bare knuckle. Man, he's addicted to playing a role. But it doesn't matter, whatever gloves we wear, the result will stay the same. He's gonna understand why everybody calls me Tank.
Jake Paul, however, was unfazed. In Miami, he played his role exactly as expected. Loud, animated, smirking at the cameras, and tossing verbal grenades in Davis's direction. He strutted with the confidence of a man who knows how to own a room, no matter who shares the stage with him.
And that's just how the MVP way we do it, and I'm gonna come for a knockout of the year again. I've seen it in my visions, I've seen it in my manifestation. I'm sleeping this guy and gonna create the most viral knockout ever.
His behavior, whether you see it as marketing genius or pure arrogance, is designed to provoke, and once again, it worked. Clips of the confrontation dominated social media feeds, proving Paul's understanding of modern fight promotion.
Respect to him, it's gonna be a show, and we can talk our shit at the end of the day, but people are gonna tune in and we're both gonna show out and someone's getting put to sleep.
This is really scripted. Like, you really going off of something, huh? You see how he just threw that out there, Floyd, so I could just, y'all might not catch it, but right, okay.
5250. Easy. Let's make it $1 million.
Whoa.
Let's make it 2.
Jake.
Let's make it 2.
$1 million total. Yeah.
Shake on it?
Jake, $1 million.
2 mil?
2 mil?
2 mil, let's do
2
it.
mil. Right here, 2 mil. Go ahead.
2 mil, easy work, bro.
2 mil?
Get a shake.
Oh, they're shaking lefty.
2 mil.
There we go.
Oh my God, oh my God.
$2 million.
The battle itself has attracted torrents of criticism, and well, it deserves it. This, purists believe, erodes the credibility of the sport by having a legitimate world champion stand next to a fighter whose professional career started as an experiment rather than a serious campaign. Peter Fury clarified that he does not have time to even think about Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. The old instructor was outraged by the fight and claimed it was business in fancy clothes. He turned a complete blind eye to the opportunities of Paul, and he even laughed at his situation, referring to him as a fat man.
You're a traditional boxing man, you do traditional boxing, but I have to ask a question. Jake Paul, Tank Davis, 2 things. First of all, how do you see that going? And also, you are a coach, say you were managing Tank, how do you deal with a weight difference like that? How would you prepare Gervonta Davis for this fight?
Just prepare to get the bank accounts fat. That's it. Don't talk to me about boxing, it's a circus, isn't it? But it's massive business for the 2 of them. Good luck to the pair of them. Build your fat bank balance.
To Fury, it was not an issue of talent, competition, or tradition. It was money and show. His sentiments were similar to those of numerous purists who regard the fight as a circus show instead of a contest between equals.
Look, if one of your fighters came to you and said they were going to fight Jake Paul, what would you say to them?
I'll take it.
Really?
You'd be an idiot, wouldn't you? It's millions of pounds for nothing. Of course you're going to do it, ain't you?
Others put it off as a circus, an exhibition wrapped up professionally. But as the critics are shooting back, the figures speak otherwise. Each reference, each headline, and each share on the internet drives this struggle further into popular consciousness. The performance might aggravate conservatives, but the focus is irrefutable. Carl Froch was not stingy about his opinion on a possible fight between Jake Paul and Tank NK. The former super middleweight champion challenged why Davis would even consider such a fight, saying that it was illogical for a fighter of his magnitude. Froch complimented the instinctive abilities of Tank, his speed, agility, and his ring IQ, but emphasized that Davis is merely in a different plane.
So I don't understand what Gervonta Davis is doing as a top fighter. Do you think he'll, towards the end of his career? I think if Davis wanted to, he won't get hit with a shot.
No.
If Davis wants to get in that ring and not get hit with a shot, smaller, lighter, more nimble.
Faster.
Yeah, faster. And he's got natural boxing ability. He's a great fighter, like one of the best. He's unbelievable talent. There's no way Jake Paul can lay a glove on him.
No, not even with his size difference.
No, the size won't matter. He'll be slower, so he's slower.
Carl Froch redoubled his attack this time, bringing Jake Paul into the limelight of his criticism. The ex-world champion disregarded Paul completely, calling him a clown and saying that he does not deserve to share the same ring with Gervonta Davis. Froch termed the fight a total mismatch, indicating that Tank could amuse Jake, overpower him with comfort, and exhaust him without straining.
Shows you Jake Paul.
No.
He's not a boxer, he's a clown. He's a performing clown.
Yeah.
He's fucking useless. He can't fight. Like, he literally cannot fight.
No.
He's absolutely fucking crap. So when he's in there against Gervonta Davis, Davis can just play with him, like cat and mouse. Just hit him with a jab move, keep out of the way, just dominate him.
And probably just wear him out.
It depends, doesn't it? It depends if there's anything like agreed beforehand. It's an exhibition.
Yeah.
What's the rules of the exhibition? Do we get told the rules of the exhibition? So
Probably afterwards, you know.
We don't know what's going to happen, but for me it's a mismatch. It's not a fight I'm interested in. I won't watch it. I wouldn't watch it if it was in my back garden. As Ricky Hatton would say, I'd draw my curtains if it was in my back garden.
But what is this battle all about? Fundamentally, it is a clash of two worlds, one of decades of expertise and tradition, the other one based on technology and digital platforms, celebrity culture, and disruptive marketing. Gervonta Davis is a classic route, a star who has been trained and worked his way to a high place in the amateur ranks and demonstrated himself at the largest stage. Raleigh Romero gave his version of the strange size relationships between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul, which made it obvious that it is not only a contest of skills but also a contest of size. He acknowledged that he might have underestimated size differences between fighters in the past, but seeing this face-off with his own eyes, he is sure that the discrepancy this time is real and may count.
Tank has an unreal boxing ability and Jake Paul is really big. But the last time I said somebody was going to be bigger, they weren't that much bigger. But I think in this case, somebody's actually a lot bigger, so.
Did you see the face-off? Like, he's like a lot bigger, even though I know.
On a technical level, there is no doubt that Tank is far superior to Jake, and there is no doubt that the better boxer is Tank. Nevertheless, he has noted that in an event where weight and strength may count, the question is, how will the battle appear when the larger man chooses to lean, clinch, and push the smaller champion?
There's a lot of difference, but I mean, obviously, if we're going to give it to skill-wise, we're going to give it to Gervonta, you know? Like, there's no ifs, ands, questions, or any of that stuff. But like I said, size can play a big factor. Like I said, what are you going to do if he just grabs you?
Jake Paul is the new breed of boxing superstars, one who did not have to go through the hard work ladder, but used fame, money, and boldness to make a name in the sport. The battle is not so much a question of technical achievement, but a question of cultural representation. It is a battle of the old guard in boxing versus the new disruptor. Andre Berto presented his view of the spectacle, and it is quite obvious where he stands. He added that he is supporting Gervonta Davis, and pointed out that Jake Paul has never, nor probably will he ever, have the experience of an atmosphere such as Tank does, particularly when the stadium is full of enthusiastic black fans cheering their star. Berto acknowledged that this matchup leaves a lot to be desired by many hardcore boxing fans.
But of course, support Gervonta, because like I say, Jake ain't never in his life going to see a stadium so filled with black people in his life. You know what I mean? They coming out. It's going to be crazy, right? I see a lot of people in the comments, of course, they're upset about it because we're true boxing fans. But listen, as of right now, the state of boxing, it's all about entertainment. It's all about entertainment. This is going to be...
Andre Berto came back to his statement by stating the fact that not all individuals understand how the business aspect of boxing truly operates. He explained that he was not surprised when Gervonta Davis agreed to a fight such as this one, since Tank has come to the stage of life where the opinion of the people does not play a role anymore. Berto thought about the impression that Davis got when the last fight backfired, how he was disillusioned with the sport that he even thought about retiring.
People don't understand, man, how this boxing game goes, right? I'm not surprised that he made a fight like that happen, because he doesn't care what you think anymore. Gervonta does not care what y'all think anymore. The way he felt after that Roach fight, how he felt like everybody turned on him. He was already talking about retiring, and he hate this fight game now. This man just going to get the bag. He don't care what you think. He's going to go in there and get the bag, and I know Al Heyman. Al Heyman, I already know Al said, you know what? Forget what they talking about. I'm going to send you to the bank.
It cannot be on the business side either. In the modern arena of combat, money is the motivating factor as much as belts or rankings. Jake Paul has a crowd that most boxers can only hope to get a glimpse of, the crowd who might never watch Davis fight a mandatory challenger, but will gladly pay to watch him fight a controversial personality like Paul. Ryan Garcia was not shy when interviewed on the question of Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul. He talked the match down as nothing less than a disgrace, and he points out that the fight is utterly disregarding the huge difference in weight between the two men. To Garcia, it is not merely a matter of star power or hype, but of justice, and he believes that the boxing world is blowing that under the carpet. He claimed that the only fact that people consider is the names, Jake versus Tank, but do not think the imbalance in size is so serious, and the spectacle is unfair and does not fit the purpose of boxing.
Bro, that's a disgrace of a fight.
Yeah.
You know it. Just like Mike Tyson, low-key was a disgrace, but we accepted it. But
yeah,
he was 60 years old. I mean, the casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
And if Gervonta Davis doesn't Jake Paul, they're gonna think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fighter.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis, he's actually really small. Like when I fought him, he's small.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a very unfair fight.
To Davis, it is more about exposure and money making than it is about honoring boxing. To Paul, it is a question of legitimacy. He is making a statement by intervening with one of the deadliest finishers in the sport. He wants to be known not only as a showman, but as a real fighter. Roy Jones Jr. presented a thoughtful but powerful opinion on the potential confrontational event between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. He acknowledged that Tank could easily put Jake to sleep even though he is smaller than Jake. Meanwhile, Jones admitted that Jake was so big that he might also be dangerous enough to pay him back.
To Tank's credit, I'm interested in the Tank Jake Paul exhibition because I know for a fact that if they do it for real, Tank is capable, although he's small, he's capable of knocking Jake Paul out, just like Jake Paul probably capable of knocking him out because he's so much bigger.
So you believe that?
I believe
no
that
doubt about it.
Without a question, if they fight for real. If they don't, if they say, no, well, we're going to take care of Jake, just want him to go through and learn more, then he might not knock him out. You understand me?
Andre Ward provided a critical yet just analysis of the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis spectacle, highlighting a huge difference between the pedigree of the two. In the case of Ward, Tank is a symbol of years of experience and perfection that Jake, with his late entry, can never really keep pace with. Nevertheless, Ward did not discount Jake completely. He credited Paul with his dedication in the gym, his bruises, and the professional support he has in his surroundings.
Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul.
Mm-hmm.
The size differential is enough where Jake Paul is good enough where people say, oh, he's terrible. Jake Paul is not a world-class fighter. I don't care how a person feel about that. Fighters that started in their formative years, like we did, 8, 9, 10, we got too much time in. Jake will never catch up to that.
Nope.
He'll never catch up to that. We just got too much time in.
Yep.
But I've always tipped the hat to him because he is in the gym with a real boxing team. I know the BJ Flores, J. Leon Love, and a few others he got in there, and he's got real fighters in there. He's getting the black eyes, he's getting the marks, he's trying to become better, and he's respectable enough where if you foolish, you can get knocked out, you can get hurt with that right hand. I don't know if he's gonna land that with Gervonta Davis, but the size difference is enough where if he does land, he can hurt Gervonta.
Coach Bullitt did not fear speaking the truth on the issue. Although Jake Paul has made bold claims, it is also clear that Jake has no right to be among the real professionals of the sport. To Bullitt, Jake is still green and too raw and inexperienced to be taken seriously at the elite level. He ruled out the notion that Paul has any actual advantage because of his size, and that bodily size can never substitute for fine talent.
Way too much, bro. Way too much. And it's a disgrace to Tank to have to fight a person like that to get a big bag. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul is not a fighter, bro. Stop playing with this game. Stop playing with this boxing. Fight a real boxer. He fought one real boxer and look what happened. Got his ass.
The center of this story is there. The match is not only taking place because the world of boxing demanded it, it is taking place because both men have something to win that is uncommon. Davis extends his profile outside of the boxing bubble to millions of casual fans who might otherwise not follow him. Paul, however, receives his biggest challenge so far, and should he lose, he receives a measure of respect just because he is in the ring with a world champion. Floyd Mayweather ruled out the concept, and Gervonta Davis would do no more than a light workout for Jake Paul. He proposed that the result was self-evident. The speed and power of Tank would soon overwhelm Jake. To the fans, the message was simple. This was not a battle. It was a one-sided performance that was about to take place.
Jake Paul got problems right here, you know. So, I mean, he's doing good. I mean, he's doing good for what he's doing, you know. Like I said, for what he's doing. I mean, it is what it is. He's just a lot of talk. It's different when you're at the highest level.
Floyd Mayweather did not soften his perspective, making Jake Paul more of a businessman than a professional boxer. That view brings the Tank Davis confrontation more to the point. The statements by Mayweather transformed the story into artistry and a show. Viral fame will not benefit Paul when the speed, timing, and power of Tank begin to tear him apart.
Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
It was understood. No entertainers or crossover names mattered here. Compared to an established fighter, the reality of boxing could be unleashed in an ugly manner. To the fans, it is more than a mere entertainment to them because it is a life and death test to see whether Paul is capable of surviving in the elite waters. Do
your homework, look on the internet. I think he was doing a sit down on a podcast one time, and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
He said, I'm only doing real fights. And of course, I can't get up high in weight, but I'll fight him in a real fight at the weight that I'm at. But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he? And Floyd, there were many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever. Period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Naturally, there are still questions concerning what the combat will be like within the ring. Davis has displayed knockout ability and is one of the deadliest weapons in the lightweight division. Paul, being physically larger, has not yet met anyone as fast, with as much timing and killer instinct as Tank. There is a clash between the expectations of critics, who forecast that Davis will reveal the shortcomings of Paul in an inhuman manner. Floyd Schofield did not hold back when questioned about Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul. He acknowledged that Tank is well within his rights to take the bag, but emphasized the fact that no real boxing fan is purchasing the fight as a genuine one. To Schofield, it is entertainment, not legacy.
You know, if you like that YouTube fake boxing stuff, cool. If you're a real boxing fan who doesn't like that, I feel them on that. But as a boxer, you know, if your heart's not in it, go get your money. I mean, at the end of the day, it's you in there and nobody else. So
he claimed that Tank is among the elite players of the sport, and he should be pursuing greatness, not gimmicks. Although the amount will be enormous, he wondered what it would do to change the life of Davis as a professional. The history of the world is made of trials with heroes, not with agents of influence. This is less of a boxing match and more of a business in the eyes of Schofield.
Go get your money if your heart's not in it, but if you're fighting for legacy, that's not the way to go. That should be like your last fight, the last thing you do. You know, if you're trying to, you know, build a legacy, but I don't think he chases legacy no more. Like, he even said he's not the face of boxing.
However, Paul has resisted before. He trains hard, he trains the part, and he has fought fight by fight. That does not necessarily mean that he will win over a fighter like Davis, but it creates interest. What will happen in case Paul manages to hold out longer than predicted? Suppose that he surprises Davis. KSI did not take any time to respond to the buzz surrounding Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. To him, it is just another piece of show in the continuing drama of boxing, where names and controversy are used against actual contention. KSI noted that the spectacle over substance is what continues to separate fans, and he did not hesitate in mocking Jake in the process.
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis.
Oh, I don't care. I don't think anyone cares, man. No one cares. No one cares.
KSI did not spare words when responding to Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. His answer was bitter and scornful. No one cares. In his case, the fight is not about legacy or even actual boxing. It is mere noise. That is a crude but very accurate declaration made by many fans who are sick of spectacle taking the place of real competition. But what about you? Do you concur with KSI that this fight is a nothing match, or do you consider it as something to watch? Comment in the comments, give us the like button when you are watching, and do not forget to subscribe to get more breakdowns on the fight game.